Om Sadashivasamarampham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I think last time we were seeing the simple thing about just chariot and the imagery, okay. I think all the 7-8 verses we saw are pretty simple, but any questions, clarifications, please shoot.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
there was something mentioned in the explanation about this with the umbrella in this the first part here in the explanation, the possessors of the umbrella.
Which verse are you
The
talking
first
about?
verse.
First verse.
In the first verse, there's some explanation given. In this, you have the same book, right? On page 16, the possessors of the umbrella. It's not the analogy
Okay.
of the expression.
Okay,
What
okay.
does that mean?
That is an example used. I have not dealt with it because that is used in the Bhashya for something else.
Okay.
Okay. When you use an expression, everybody is celebrating Navratri. You mean to say each and every person is celebrating Navratri? But the vast majority are. Correct? It's a general statement. Hey, everyone is celebrating. Or headlines in the newspaper. Bombay, all ready for Navratri. But there are a lot of people from different religions. There are a lot of people from different religions who do not celebrate Navratri. And that everyone understands. So similarly, he says, Chhatrinaha yanti. In plural, which can be interpreted in many ways. One of the interpretation for easier understanding is the rainy season, Chhatrinaha yanti. Everyone is carrying, all the people with the umbrella are going. But it is not that everyone has an umbrella. Some may be wearing a raincoat, some may be getting wet. Are you getting the idea? Yeah. Or if the king is going, Chhatrinaha yanti. There is only one king, Chhatrapati. But everyone is referred to as Chhatrinaha yanti. So same thing applies to the Atma and things like that. Okay. Only one Atma, but it looks like many in different bodies, etc. Yeah. So like that, there are a lot of this thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the Kshatri Nyaya. Similarly, there is Saptaparni Nyaya. So a lot of these Nyayas are there. But I don't handle those here because if you really want to understand all that little bit, Sanskrit knowledge should be there. And even though I have been encouraging my students to study Sanskrit, very few have been studying it. I know some have been. But I can't use the Kshatrinaha Nyaya here and say everyone has been studying Sanskrit. Why? It's a minority that has been studying. Yeah. So here it is that Kshatrinaha Yanti is not applicable.
And Swamiji, when you say Karvata, does it only refer to the Charvakas?
Who? What refers to the Charvakas?
When you say you're a karmata,
Charvakas are not karmatas.
No.
Charvakas are khao, piyo, maja karo.
Okay.
Bhogis.
What exactly do you mean when you say karmata?
The person who's committed to the first portion of the Veda, he thinks karmanaha moksha. By karma I will gain moksha. I do all these karmas, I will gain moksha. Such a person is called a karmata.
Okay.
Who thinks the Vedic karmas will give him everything. We saw that even in Mundaka. Yam imam pushpitam vacham, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very ritualistic, like
Very ritualistic.
follows
Now,
the
rituals has a place in people's lives. This is for those. See, this is a very mixed audience. For the Matunga audience, I have to chop a bit of the karma. For the South Bombay audience, I have to push up a bit of the karma. Because this South Indian thing is too much into karma, overdoing it. Whereas the South Bombay crowd, no karma. I don't know how many of the people even light a diya at home. A small diya every day. Forget a puja, diya. Anyway, so there is a place for rituals in your life. In terms of dharma, artha, kama, there is place for rituals in your life. And some ritual is good to bring out the bhakti bhava in you, everything. If you are doing it for that, very good. If you are doing the rituals to gain some finite ends, like where is that paper gone? Yes, like from Sunday onwards in Shankaramatam, there's a huge list of homas. Every day there are 2 homas going. Plus, of course, lot of other pujas. They start at 5:30 in the morning and go on up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They say 12:30 is Deeparadhana, but the Arati is at 12:30. It never happens at 12:30. It always gets delayed. Then they start at 6:30 in the evening and go up to 8:30 in the night. Because Navaratri time. So you will find a whole list of homas here. But if you notice, each homa is meant for a particular thing. Like because I teach Vedanta in Shankaramatam, etc., I participate in all the homas. But there is one homa I am not going to go anywhere near. That's on Monday morning. You know what it is? Swayamvara Parvati Homa. It is meant to get married. I don't want to go anywhere near. So like that, each homa is meant for a particular thing. Therefore, if you are going to do it, keeping that in mind, it's all right. Because it's meant for a particular thing. I know a couple here who did this Bala Santana Gopala Homa for their child because they were not getting a child. They were trying for a child, not getting it. And they got it. Yeah, I'll do that. Bharati, I'll do that. So they did that Homa, they got it. They got a child. Fine. So that much limited ends, limited means is okay. But because you participate in all the homas, you feel you're superior, you feel you're closer to moksha, forget it. That's where the trap is. That's where the trap is. Yeah, because you're not closer to moksha. You think you're closer to moksha by getting a child? You're closer to moksha by getting married? If you grow, yes. But if your life is filled with hurt and pain, no. Yeah. So, you have to keep in mind, what are you doing a karma for? Yeah. and what are you not doing it for? So if that is clear, then you are not a karmata. A karmata is a person who is so committed to karma that he feels guilty if he doesn't do it, which I am sure many of us do. Because subconsciously we buy into that theory that the karmata propounds. Akarne pratyavayaha it's called. Okay, I'm going to explain that a bit since it's contextual here. Akarne pratyavaya. According to the karmata, you are supposed to do all these karmas. If you don't do these karmas, you will incur papa. If you don't do this karma, you will incur papa. And if you don't do it, you won't get any result. Why? Because you are supposed to do it anyway. Now this in modern life is translated by statements like, if you don't do it, God will get angry, etc. क्या भगवान को और कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है क्या? But to get angry on me? Yeah, this is a modern version of the same thing. If you do karma, you will gain karma phala. If you don't do it, you will not gain that phalam. Simple as that. Simple as that. Therefore, this akarne pratyavaya, if you don't do, you will get into problems, is not true. Yes, the grace that was coming into you because you are doing this karmas, etc., will stop. Therefore, you may find that grace is not flowing into you. That can happen because you are not doing it. But it's not that something bad will happen because you don't do it. Okay. And if you have made a sankalpa that lifelong you will do certain karmas, then you have to do it lifelong because your statement of intention was like that. Then if you are stopping it, there is a way to go about stopping those karmas. Classical case is your Shraddha ceremonies. Now you are supposed to do your Shraddha ceremony all your life for your ancestors. There is Pitra Paksha going on. Tomorrow is the last day of the Pitra Paksha. Okay. So you are supposed to honor your ancestors, etc. In fact, if you go to many traditional homes, every year they have a Shraddha for their parents, etc. Can you stop it? You can. But there is a way to go about stopping that. If you have done Shraddha for 12 years, you can say that's enough and stop it. But there is a small ritual that you have to do to stop it. Very few priests will tell you that, because for the priest to do Shraddha every year is income for him. So no priest will tell you how to stop it. Why should he tell you how to stop it? You do it every year, is good for him, no? Now I know some of the traditional people are looking at me a bit skeptically here. Is that true? You can really stop Shraddha ceremony? You can. There's a way about it. Yeah. But then some people will give a traditional argument. But then my ancestors won't remain in heaven. Let them not remain. Let them get another birth and go towards moksha. Yeah, pray for that. So a karmata you are, if your whole life revolves around the karma. That's the meaning of the word karmata. Karmanaha mokshaha. No? Even though they say jnanena mokshaha, they don't really believe it. That's why that guilt, fear, etc. is there if they miss out a karma. If that guilt and fear, etc. is there, if you miss out on a particular karma, then you are a karmata, all right. Because karma is not meant to make you feel guilty. The Veda is not written to make you feel guilty. We are not a guilt producing religion. Only those religions that want to control you will talk in terms of fear and guilt. Sanatana Dharma does not believe in controlling people. Therefore, there is no need of any fear or guilt. Is this clear? Okay. Then, getting back to the topic of the imagery of the horses. Yeah.
I had one question.
Yeah, shoot.
This is a little bit different. So, even though Shankara had a little bit Nandan Mishra saying that Karma Kanda cannot give moksha,
Yeah.
then also we see even sannyasis of particular sects doing Karma Kanda from morning to evening. So, is
True.
that
That is true. There are some Mathadipatis. Now, in sannyasa also there are different grades of it, Like in the Dasanama sannyasi tradition. When you say sannyasi tradition, we generally refer to the Dasanami. Though there are other traditions like the Dasa Bodha Sampradaya, Dasa Sampradaya. That is, Dasa is from Samartha Ramdas, okay, Shivaji's Guru. Or Kabir Panthis, okay. Or there is also certain Vaishnava traditions having sannyasis. And in the akhadas, all these are included. Therefore, there are about 13 akhadas, including one Kinnara akhada, transgender, okay, and one akhada which is purely woman. So, all the akhadas are complete, everything is accepted. We are all inclusive. Now, in this Dasnama, especially in the Dasnama, Kabir Panthis, they are not into rituals. Nobody will know, you'll never find a Kabir Panthi doing rituals, etc. Okay. Similarly, the Dasa Sampradaya, you will hardly find them doing anything. Okay. Meditation, japa, etc. Yes, but not more than that. Okay. Now, in the Dasanama tradition, there are traditions. Okay. If you are a Mathadipati, generally they are dandins. They carry a danda. Because when you take sannyasa, a danda is given to you. We all were given a danda. It's called the Brahma danda. So, all the worship that you want to do, because as a sannyasi you are moving around. What all you are not going to carry your temple with you or your homakunda with you. So, all worship is toward the danda. You invoke the danda as Ishvara. Okay. But if you are a Paramahamsa, like how our tradition we are all Paramahamsas. So, in the Paramahamsa tradition, the danda is also given up into the Ganga, into the river. Why? Nothing. No more rituals for you. However, if you are a Mathadipati, you will do some rituals for the benefit of people, etc. Okay. And even if you are not a Mathadipati, you can participate in a ritual, not directly, indirectly, like how I go and sit down for the Shankara Matham Puja, Homas, indirectly. Loka Sangraham, for the benefit of the world, for the people around you, for the people who come to you, for their sake, you can do it. So, it is done like that. That's why even some sannyasis will find them doing it for these type of things. Okay. So, that's how the rituals came. Actually speaking, in the sannyasa tradition, after sannyasa you don't do any of those homas, etc. You don't do. Maximum you do is some japa, dhyanam, etc. Nothing more than that. Japa you will do, dhyanam you will do. Mental upasanas you will do. Mental upasanas you will do. Hold on, there is something that has gone off here. Okay. So, mental upasanas, etc. you will do. Because you may still have to get your mind necessary. Yeah. Or like in my case, sometimes before I took sannyas, I was not into rituals, etc. Japa, dhyanam, etc. was there, but not more than that. But after I took sannyasa, I told you, the Sri Yantra Meru came from Mukambika temple. From the Gandaki river, a Shivlinga came. A Saligrama came. So, all the three murtis are there in my house, Atiti Rupena. You know, Atiti is a guest who walks in without an appointment. So, Bhagavan himself has come without an appointment. Sri Yantra is Sakshat Devi itself, a Linga, a Saligrama. So, I acknowledge all of them. Even though before that I have not thrown a flower at Ishvara like that, you know. It's an indication that the Lord is demanding some worship from me. I'll honor that. I'll honor that, of course. So, like these things come. But these are all, this is not Vedic, this is Pauranic. So, Pauranic as a sannyasi also you are allowed to do. So, that way it goes on. Yeah. So, this is for the some info about the ritualistic part of it. Okay. Any other questions, or shall we go into the chariot? Get on to the chariot? Okay. So, the chariot is a simple imagery. A chariot and horses. Okay. The Ratha Swami is the person for whose sake the chariot is running. I. The charioteer is my buddhi, my intellect, my reasoning. Okay. The reins are my mind. The horses are my sense organs. And the object of the sense organs are the road on which the horses run. Just an imagery. Why? To see that you need to be in charge. The buddhi requires to be in charge. The buddhi is holding the reins, the mind. If it hold it too tight, chariot will not move. If you hold it too loose, dhilla, all the horses will run haywire. So to master the mind, it's an imagery used. Nothing more than that, just an imagery. Okay? Yeah. What he says after that is more important. Okay, then 8th verse we had seen last time. Okay. Vijnana saritistu mana pragrahavan naraha.
We saw seven.
I beg your pardon?
We saw the seven. Seventh we saw, Swami.
8th one we are not done?
No, Swami.
Okay, 8th one we
No,
will
we
do.
haven't done the eighth.
8th one, okay, all right, then we'll do that. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati samanaska sada suchihi satudad apnoti tat padam apnoti yasyad bhuyo na jayate. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati, one who is well informed. Okay. The Ratha Swami, if he has got a good charioteer, a good Sarathi, okay, Vijnanavan bhavati, well informed, knowledgeable. Samanaskaha, whose mind is mastered. Suchihi, clean, pure. Meaning, all that ragadveja, hatred, anger, all that taken care of. Suchihi. Satu tat padam apnoti, he gains that padam. Mokshakhim padam. Yasmat bhuyo na jayate, after where he is not reborn again. That's why he uses the word padam. Padam means literally means a state, a place, heaven, etc. But in heaven, etc., there is always a return. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. You go there on the basis of the punya that you have done. Punya is your exchange. You are gone on a holiday. And what is the currency you are using up in the holiday? The punya. Once punya is over, Mumbaiyam Vishanti, back to Bombay. Or back to your hometown, wherever. So similarly here, once punya is over, back to base. Martilokam Vishanti, back to earth, where you pick up the threads again. So you get a holiday, nice holiday, and then you come back. Nice break. Yeah. And you come back. That's all all the heaven, hell, etc. ideas are. But here he says, you gain moksha, na bhuyaha abhijayate. Okay? Bhuyo na jayate. You are not born again, you don't come back. Why? The whole issue is born of ignorance. Because of self-ignorance, I take myself to be a finite being. Now, because I am a finite being, I need to do this, I need to do that, and Vedanta takes care of the problem of finitude itself. You are not a finite guy. You are the limitlessness. You are not becoming limitless. You are already limitless, you didn't know. So now you are discovering your true identity. Then what? Then ignorance cannot make a comeback. Why should you be born back again? There is nothing to pull you back onto earth. After death, there is no travel, you remain as limitless consciousness. Everything happens in you. You remain as a limitless consciousness. Na bhuyaha jayate. There is no need to be born again. There is no motivation to be born again. What is the motivation to be born? You know, in bhakti you will say all sorts of stuff. I remember hearing this bhajan. See, sometimes the bhajans are such that sometimes it has turned my mind off bhajans because of the nonsense you hear. बाबाजी आपको आना पड़ेगा, भक्तों का संकट मिटाना पड़ेगा. You get into a problem and you want somebody else to come and solve it. This is the biggest problem among the Hindus nowadays. You are always looking for some blooming savior, you know. Even for what you can do, you want a savior to come and do it for you. Yeah. At least at the government level, it has changed a bit. Hey, we'll take charge and do it ourselves. Previously, we were crybabies. Terrorist attack, we go crying to the United Nations. Please help us, please help us. That's like a schoolboy running and saying, Mummy, he hit me. Even as a school kid, I didn't have that thinking. If somebody hits me, I'll hit him twice. At least at the government level, those things have changed. But individual levels, the Hindus are still useless. Even the political level, things are not changed. I mean, look at Israel. They formed a national government overnight. The opposition has joined hands with the government to fight the issue as one. In India, terrorist attack happens, what happens? Half the voices will be speaking for Pakistan, China, this, that, etc. Who is supporting the government? We are our own worst enemy. So forget the savior attitude, okay? What you can do, you do. Yeah. So these bhajans, that's where I took off from. Tell me, what is the motivation for that Babaji to come back? Whoever he is, I am not mentioning names. It's not the problem of the Babaji, it's the problem of the devotees. Yeah. Amen. Come on. But Swamiji, there are so many sincere students. That's why you create paramparas. You create students who will become teachers in time and then they will take over. Yeah. You consider yourself dispensable. That's what my guru did. 350 teachers. Wow. That's a world record. I don't think after Shankara anybody has created that many teachers. Though the founder of, I think, who was that Gujarat-based organization? Where they built temples. They built some of the largest temples in the world. Swaminarayan. Swaminarayan people. The head says he had created 10,000 sannyasis. But 10,000 sannyasis among them are not Sampradaya with Vedanta teachers. They are not Sampradaya with Vedanta teachers. They are sadhus doing a different function. Yeah, it's a big difference between the both. A good thing, they are making it popular and everything. Yeah, so that much I will validate them. But Sampradaya with teachers is difficult. So there is no need for a wise person to come back, okay? Yeah. You can't emotionally blackmail a wise person to come back. Parampara is continuing, go, teach, study. Yeah. All right. Therefore, na bhuyaha jayate. There is no motivation on his part, there is no need, nor possible, because avidya is gone. And avidya is gone, she doesn't make a return. And if avidya doesn't make a return, there is no coming back for you. Once you are established in the knowledge, okay, not a vague insight. Yeah. But when you are very clear about the knowledge, then. Okay. Same idea is repeating in the next verse also. Yeah. Vijnanavan saratisthu mana pragrahavan naraha swadhvanaha paramapnoti tad vishnoho paramam padam. Vijnanavan saratisthu. The sarati, buddhi, that is Vijnanavan, well informed, the knowledge is there. Mana pragraha naraha. Not only that, the mind is mastered also. Why is he saying Vijnanavan and the mind is mastered? Because if your mind is not mastered, the strength of the traditional teaching will give you insights. You can't sit in a traditional class and not have insights. That's not the greatness of the teacher, that's the greatness of the tradition. The sampradaya of teaching is such that you will gain insights, even if your mind is not mastered. Swamiji, I sat for 1 year, I got no insights. Then you need a lot more preparation. That's all it means, okay? You get an insight into the truth. There will be days when you feel, Hari, it's so clear. Yeah, I understand. But it may not last with you. Why? Because the mind is not mastered. Therefore, the mind mastery becomes a prerequisite. That's why we talk about Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti, etc. Samadama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Uparati, all that we talk about because of that. Okay. So, Mana Pragrahava Naraha. So, Advanaha. That person who has hold the reins in his hand, Dvanaha, Paramapnoti. Paramapnoti. He gains the highest. Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Oh, you mean to say he'll go to Vishnu Loka? No. Vyapnoti Sarvaniti Vishnuhu. The all-pervading one is called as Vishnuhu. So that limitless consciousness is referred to as Vishnu itself. Because the meaning of the word Vishnu, Vyapnoti sarvan, that which is all pervading. Therefore, as all pervading, you get that. Yeah. Vyapnoti sarvan. Therefore, tat padam apnoti. In short, what he said in the previous verse, same thing. Moksham apnoti. Atma jnanena kaivalyam apnoti. Atma jnanam eva kaivalyam. Yeah. That knowledge itself is moksha. Because the whole thing is centered around self-ignorance. I don't know who I am. Because of that, I take myself to be what I am associated with, a finite entity. And out of this finite entity, I start functioning. I want various things in life, natural. And I want somewhere I get fed up with the whole thing. I want more than all this, more than what I can gain with all this. Yeah. So, there is where the question is, paramapnoti. Any questions up to here or clear? Now, one question has come up. I had mentioned it last year, I had not explained it. Last time I had not explained enough. He says the comparison between the imagery in Gita and the Kathopanishad. Now, many paintings of the Gita shows 5 horses. Because it's an identical imagery then. Okay. So, very often it is used. And the Gita also mentions, isn't it? Which chapter is that? I forget. Anyone remembers here which chapter? Okay, you all can find out and let me know next time. There are those who chant the Gita regularly. उधर भी कुधर इमेजरी है ऐसा. Anyway, doesn't matter.
That Indriyani Paranya.
Indriyani Paran. That is similar to this verses here, but it is not exactly the chariot verses. Okay. Now, at the same time, if you are reading the Mahabharata, Arjuna's chariot, 4 horses are named. Names of 4 horses are given. 5th horse is not mentioned. So, someone whom I knew, a very well-known dancer, Bharatanatyam dancer from Chennai, Pavitra Srinivasan. She has put the whole Gita in a dance form. So, in this first chapter imagery, she talked about and she danced, not only talked, there was music, there was a song and there was a dance about Arjuna and 5 horses. So, somebody objected to that, one scholar objected saying only 4 horses are mentioned. So, how do you handle this now? Because by name, only 4 horses have been named in the Mahabharata. I forget the names now, okay? I am not bothered to remember the names of the horses. Remember the names of all the people who participated are big enough. अभी सबको and their weapons and their horses also. क्या क्या remember करेगा? Okay. Anyway, so 4 horses were named. All right, so 4 horses. So Arjuna's chariot had only 4 horses. Big deal. What's the problem? We are using the imagery from the Kathopanishad and making a comparison, because you will find lot of verses in the Kathopanishad and the Gita are very identical. Na jayate mriyate va, all that are identical to the Gita verses. Krishna has shamelessly used it from the Kathopanishad. But remember, He has a copyright for it. He is the source. So copyright is his anyway. So he can use it. Yeah. So no big deal. But as far as this thing, at the same time, there used to be a practice in war and in racing, both. This probably the scholar didn't know. Because he is a scholar as for the words, this thing. He doesn't know the culture of war or horse racing for that matter. He doesn't know that part of it. That part he doesn't know. But remember, Arjuna's was a war chariot. It was not a chariot to reach from one place to another. So very often there is a tradition that there is a fifth horse. The reins of the fifth horse will be in the hands of the charioteer, but the fifth one will not be yoked to the chariot. He runs free. The fifth horse runs free, setting the pace for the other four. Because you are running free, you can go faster. So the other horses try to emulate that. So the fifth horse is very often used to set pace. So now can you make a comparison of that and this example? Indriyani hayanayu ahu. What is the indriya that can hijack you any second? What is the sense organ that moves fastest?
Eyes.
Your eyes, exactly. So take the eyes as the unyoked horse. That's why in meditation we don't say stuff your ears. We say close your eyes. Find a quiet place and close your eyes. So, if you want to make a comparison like that, even though it is not mentioned, it can be. Okay? But those are just a point of hair splitting. It doesn't really matter. But since the question came up, okay, so is that good enough answer for the question? Or is there anything more that you all want to know? The comparison is very simple. Okay, just an imagery use. Basically, what is saying? Master your mind. Let your body and mind. What is mastery of the mind? Your body and mind doing what you want it to do, not the other way around. Your body and mind does what you have to do, not the other way around. It is just the opposite of those ads. Nobody can eat just one. Remember the Lay's ad? Lay's chips. Nobody can eat just one. Who said that? Of course you can eat one and just say enough. क्या करूं? कंट्रोल नहीं हो पा रहा है. क्या करूं? कंट्रोल नहीं हो पा रहा है. They are good for ads to hijack your mind. I mean, this Arthavada, the ad is saying this is so good that you will not be able to control yourself from eating more. So if you are diet conscious, don't keep it at home only. Why? Control nahi ho pa raha hai na? It can work against them also. The ad can work against. You have to be careful of when you make an ad. It can go against you also. So it is the reverse of that. Here you are in charge, you are in control. Anything is like that. Any sense organ. What's the big deal? It's your mind. No? Hey, nice perfume. Good, nice perfume. So what are you going to do? Put loads of it on yourself? You will stink. nice thing to see. How much will you keep seeing? And I really can't understand how people do binge watching of serials and they're also on a laptop. People come and tell me, Swamiji, I saw season 1, 2, 3. That is 15 episodes. Each episode half an hour. 7.5 hours. Oh, Swamiji, we binge watch the whole night. Oh my God. और कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है क्या? I mean, do you really think you understand the story when you binge watch like that? That you're following the nuances of the story? Really? Yeah. So these are all things where you are not in charge, you are not in control, you are letting it hijack. Swamiji, I don't eat out often, but when I eat out now, I really like to eat. Good, have a good fulfilling meal. Haven't you found people going for buffets, all that you can eat? Really? How much you want to stuff yourself? After a time, you are just stuffing yourself. You are not really enjoying it. Not really enjoying it. I know, because as a discipline, I have eaten 6 laddus for a bhandara. Yeah, there was a protocol of that time I did it. Do you think I enjoyed it? No, of course not. I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, it is carb loading. Why? After that, another 2 weeks, you are on survival diet. So load up some carbs in you. Because you are going to lose all that weight over the next 2 weeks. It's not healthy. That's not the healthy way to eat. So whether it's your tongue or your sight, music, gluttony of music.
One question I wanted to ask. Whenever you go for Diksha, you go to two places or 3 places?
I beg your pardon? When you go for Bhiksha?
When you used to go for Diksha, there in Rishikesh,
Bhandara.
you go for Diksha, no? Bhavati Bhiksha.
That time it is not like that. That time just dal roti you get or dal roti sabji you will get. That's it. Simple. Survival diet. Yes.
But if you go to 2 places, they might not give you the same thing. No?
Correct. So you will mix up everything together.
That is what I want to
Yeah, because that's the discipline. You are not bothered about your taste. You are just eating to survive.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
So a bhandara is a time when sadhus are fed, given some nice food. You come to our ashram, every other day there is a bhandara for the sadhus.
No, I was wondering that if supposing one person gives chapati, another person gives rice, and how to combine the thing?
Mix it up. Yeah, we can do it very nicely. Next time Rishikesh, I'll show you.
Okay.
Everything can be mixed up. Forget that, they'll put the sweet also into it.
Yes, that's very good control. Yes.
Yeah. It's called Bhiksham. Nobody is bothered about your taste. It's just survival. That shows control. You're not bothered. Yeah, not bothered about it. So, similarly, your sensuousness, touch. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. Any sense of touch? Oh, I had a massage today that felt so nice. Good. So you're going to have a massage every day? There will be overstimulation. Yeah, there's overstimulation. Yeah. Whatever type of massage you're doing. Unless you need it for recovering from some injury or something like that. There are different types of massages. Some is a general sports massage to relax your muscles. Some are purely sensuous in nature. That generally is supposed to be done between 2 lovers. Then there are massages to bring out subconscious fears, etc. in your system. Yeah. The massage martial artists do. So there are plenty of things like this. So if it is done for those purpose, fine. If it is only for the sensuousness, I use only satin sheets, you know. You think once you fall asleep, the satinness matters to you? The satin has slipped off and fallen on the ground. Mosquitoes are feasting on you. So in any of the sense organs, the same thing. To work for the mastery becomes the important thing. To enjoy what is there, yeah, fine. Yeah. So it's a very funny thing. You develop your refinement to enjoy the good things in life, to appreciate the differences. Yeah. It's like Kali dal made in Punjab and UP. How many can make out the fine differences? Or avial made in Tamil Nadu and avial made in Kerala. You are refined, your taste is refined. It's good. That refinement of taste is good. That shows a certain sophistication, a certain refinement about the personality. But not being a slave to that refinement. That is mastery. To understand fine differences, at the same time not being this. That's why I always tell people, my taste in sweets is not very refined. Why? Indian sweets, I developed a taste for it in Rishikesh. So Rishikesh, Bhandara, what are the sweets you get? Jalebi, balushai. Balushai anyone eats nowadays? The whole thing dipped in sugar syrup. I don't think people are even eating it nowadays in the cities. Yeah. I enjoy it. Why? Because my taste was developed there. I know it's not a refined taste, so big deal. Well, people will talk about rasagullas. Jalebi is too sweet. You're eating a sweet, what is too sweet? All your refinement is good. That's good to have. Provided you are not hijacked by those. That is exactly what is the point he is trying to make here. Your sense organs cannot hijack you, your mind cannot hijack you. In fact, the sense organ is not hijacking you. Sense organ is only reporting. It's the mind that is a problem. The mind that is an issue. Yeah. Yeah, mantras 8 and 9 seem very similar. Correct? He is just putting it from a different angle. It is called abhyasa in teaching. Repetition to highlight the importance of something. Abhyasa. So that say whole point of this imagery is only that. How important mastery of the mind is. One side the teaching, other side the mastery. The teaching is the teacher's job. He will do it. Mastery is your job. He can only show you how to go about it. The student has to cultivate that mastery. That's why if you have a discipline in life, like some sports or something, it is easier to gain that mastery. Provided you are not playing sports according to season. I have seen sports people, oh, football season, very disciplined, this, that, etc. Off season time, khao, piyo, maja karo. No. Should be like the Orientals, Japanese, Koreans, etc. They are trained right around the year. Therefore, they are disciplined right around the year. Yeah. Because it's become a way of life. So a certain discipline is a way of life. Big deal. You mean to say you will never slack up? Once in a way you will slack up. Why? Because you are human. Yeah. That's why sadhus have Vandara once in 2 weeks. Chalo, maja se kha lo. Yeah. Like what in modern this thing you will say cheat days, no? You're following a diet and one day is cheat day. Don't call it cheat day, call it reward day. That you're rewarding yourself for following the discipline. The idea is simple. In whichever it is, that's it. Master your mind, and that's all that is there to it. Whatever it is. Disciplined enjoyment is mastery. Avoidance is not mastery. Indulgence is not mastery. A disciplined enjoyment of life is mastery. If you can do that, you're fine. And such a mind will be able to retain the truth that is taught. There will be harmony in it. It will flow through into your life. There will be a certain amount of integration in that mind. So the knowledge will flow through. So in the next few verses, he is using this knowledge, the insight that you gain in Vedanta, to gain that mastery. How through the insights you will gain the mastery. See, some mastery has to be gained before. That's why I am spending time on it. Some mastery has to be gained before you gain insights itself. No? Once you have gained a relative mastery, how to refine it and gain total mastery, he is talking about in the next few verses. But that we will see next class. Okay? Because if I go into it, I will have to do at least 3-4 verses together. So otherwise, it won't work to stop at 1 or 2. Because you don't get the big picture then, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Shilpi, what is your question?
Swamiji, you were saying that you will do some dhanam.
Dhyanam, Gita class. Yeah. Yeah. In the Gita, I will do the Dhyanam. Yeah. Because 6th chapter there. We are starting the 6th chapter this time. So that time, there I will do it. Yeah. The Sunday morning, 10 o'clock class. Yeah. So where I will do it at the beginning or end, I have not yet decided. But someplace, sometime I will do. Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you. Namaste, Swami.
Okay. Take care then. Have a great time. It's only 8 o'clock, 8:05. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great dinner. Enjoy yourselves.